Elon Musk is suing OpenAI for breach of contract.
Elon Musk suing OpenAI and the company's CEO, Sam Altman.
A new escalation in the legal battle between Elon Musk and OpenAI today.
Take insights into the mind of Elon Musk and his relationship with Altman.
Talk me through this, because Musk, he has a history with OpenAI.
Sam Altman's beef with Elon Musk. What is it all about, and how did it start?
OpenAI, I mean, you seem somewhat frustrated with them. You were one of the big contributors early on.
The reason I am the reason OpenAI exists.
How much money did you give them?
I'm not sure the exact number, but it's some number on the order of $50 million. Man, fate loves irony, next level. So I used to be close friends with Larry Page, and I would stay at his house, and we'd have these conversations long into the evening about AI, and I would be constantly urging him to be careful about the danger of AI, he was really not concerned about the danger of AI and was quite cavalier about it, and at the time, Google, especially after their acquisition of DeepMind, had 3/4 of the world's AI talent. They had obviously a lot of computers and a lot of money, so it was a unipolar world for AI. And we've got a unipolar world, but the person who controls that does not, or at least did not seem to be concerned about AI safety. That sounded like a real problem. So, and then the final straw was Larry calling me a speciesist for being pro-human consciousness instead of machine consciousness. And I'm like, well, yes, I guess I am. I am a speciesist,
So you helped to the creation of OpenAI. You put in as much as $50 million.
More than helped. It wouldn't exist without me.
It wouldn't exist without you. So
I came up with the name. Right. The name OpenAI refers to open source. So the intent was, what's the opposite? What's the opposite of Google? Would be an open source nonprofit, because Google is closed sourced for profit. And that profit motivation can be potentially dangerous.
Should you have gotten governance for that money? Should you have gotten some level of control, perhaps, in retrospect?
Yeah, I fully admit to being a huge idiot here. Anyway, so OpenAI was meant to be OpenAI, open as an open source. It was created as a 501c3, so part of it is also, in the beginning, I thought, look, this is probably a hopeless endeavor. How could we possibly compete with? How could OpenAI possibly compete with Google DeepMind? I mean, this seemed like an ant against an elephant, which is not a contest. And I was also, I was instrumental in recruiting the key scientists and engineers, most notably Ilya Sutskever. In fact, Ilya went back and forth several times because he would say he's going to join OpenAI, then Demis would convince him not to, then I would convince him to do so, and this went back and forth several times, and ultimately he decided to join OpenAI, and really Ilya joining was the linchpin for OpenAI being ultimately successful.
So you're very disappointed in what's happened there in terms of it becoming a for-profit. Did you take any action? Sue them in some way?
I do think that there's some... look, it does seem weird that something can be a non-profit open source and somehow transform itself into a for-profit closed source. I mean, this would be like let's say you funded an organization to save the Amazon rainforest, and instead they became a lumber company and chopped down the forest and sold it for money. And you'd be therefore like, well, wait a second, that's the exact opposite of what I gave the money for.
Yeah.
Is that legal? That doesn't seem legal. And if it is, and in general, if it is legal to start a company as a nonprofit and then take the IP and transfer it to a for-profit that then makes tons of money, shouldn't that be the default?
Right.
And then I also think it's important to understand like when push comes to shove, let's say they do create some digital superintelligence, almost godlike intelligence. Well, who's in control?
Yeah.
And what exactly is the relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft? And I do worry that Microsoft actually may be more in control than, say, the leadership team at OpenAI realizes. I mean, Microsoft, as part of Microsoft's investment, they have rights to all of the software, all of the model weights, and everything necessary to run the inference system.
So they essentially have a great deal of control.
At any point, Microsoft could cut off OpenAI.
So this seems to be a pretty good reason to sue them, considering you invested millions of dollars in them, and the invested company decides to move to a for-profit, under Microsoft's control, when you basically created them. Here's Sam Altman's take on it.
Because you're in a very public battle right now with your original OpenAI co-founder, Elon Musk. And I think it's safe to say that most listeners of this show will vaguely know that there's a conflict between Elon Musk having to do with this, one of his companies, one of his many companies, but they're certainly not following the nitty-gritty details of the various lawsuits and of the conflict more generally. So I want to try and summarize it for you in the most fair way that I can, and then you'll tell me if I've gotten it wrong or where I've overstepped. So OpenAI begins in 2015, and it starts as a nonprofit. And in a blog post introducing OpenAI to the world in December of that year, you wrote this: OpenAI is a nonprofit artificial intelligence research company. Our goal is to advance digital intelligence in the way that is most likely to benefit humanity as a whole, unconstrained by a need to generate financial return. Since our research is free from financial obligations, we can better focus on a positive human impact. And this was a huge aspect of the brand. Then, fast forward 4 years, in 2019, OpenAI moves to what it called a hybrid model with a for-profit arm that got $1 billion investment from Microsoft in that year. Since then, Microsoft has poured something like $13 billion, it might be a higher number, more into the company. And Elon was one of the co-founders, as I mentioned, since the beginning. But his relationship with the company soured over time because he disagreed with the shift that I just described, the shift from this nonprofit model to a hybrid model. And he eventually leaves the company and steps down from the board. And that takes us to this year, in which Elon has sued you and OpenAI on several different occasions so far this year. And he has given many interviews and posted countless amount of tweets or X's or whatever we're supposed to call them about this conflict. All of the lawsuits claim that you were in some kind of contract violation by putting profits ahead of the public good in the move to advance AI. And then last month, and this is the most recent development, Elon asked the district judge in California to block OpenAI from converting to this for-profit structure. Okay, that was a mouthful. Did I summarize it properly? And is there anything crucial that I left out or
you
misstated?
Mostly summarized it properly, but it was Elon that most wanted to convert, not even convert, it was Elon that most wanted OpenAI to be a for-profit at one point and had made a bunch of proposals that would have, and also things like OpenAI being part of Tesla, but mostly just create a new for-profit that he was going to be in control of. And, so other than that, I think a lot of the summary there is correct. I have a bunch of thoughts and opinions on it, but as a statement of facts, that was otherwise mostly correct.
Give us the 10,000-foot version. What is the fundamental conflict between Elon Musk and his various allies, Meta being one of them, and you guys? What is the disagreement fundamentally about?
Look, I don't live inside Elon's head, so this is a little bit of speculation. Elon definitely did a lot to help OpenAI in the early days, and in spite of all of this, I'm very grateful, and I think he's just a sort of legendary entrepreneur. He's also clearly a bully, and he's also someone who clearly likes to get in fights. Right now it's me. It's been Bezos, Gates, Zuckerberg, lots of other people. And I think fundamentally this is about OpenAI is doing really well. Elon cares about doing really well. Elon started and now runs a very direct competitor that's trying to do exactly what OpenAI does. And I'll point out is a structure, it's like a public benefit corp. And I heard Elon has majority ownership and control. And seems like a reasonable thing he would do. I think a lot of the press has been misreported. We're not like the nonprofit. Even if we go through with any of the conversion ideas or evolution ideas we're talking about, it's not like the nonprofit goes away. The nonprofit doesn't like stop being a nonprofit and becomes a for-profit. We've talked publicly about maybe we evolve our current LLC into a PBC, but anything we do would strengthen the nonprofit. The nonprofit would continue to exist, would continue to serve, hopefully better serve the same purpose. And the overall mission of the company that you talked about, which is develop this incredible technology, do it in a way that we think is maximally beneficial to humans and get it out into the world for people. We keep doing that. I'm incredibly proud of our track record on doing that so far. People, as you were saying earlier, use ChatGPT and love it. There's an incredible free tier of ChatGPT. We lose money on it. It's not ad supported or anything. We just want to put AI in people's hands. We continue to want to deploy this technology so that people co-evolve with it, understand it, that the world is going through this process it's going through right now of contending with AI and eventually AGI and thinking how it's going to go. And everything we're doing, I believe Elon would be happy about if he weren't in control of the company. He left when he thought we were like on a trajectory to certainly fail. He also wouldn't do something where he had like total control over OpenAI. But I think it's like a little bit of a sideshow, and the right thing for us to do is just keep doing incredible research, keep shipping products people love, and most importantly, like keep pursuing this mission of AGI to benefit people and getting that out into the world.
For someone who's just sort of tuning into this topic, why is it important, Sam, that OpenAI has a for-profit arm or converts in the way that you've been talking about? Why is that essential to your growth?
When we started OpenAI, we thought it's hard to go back and remember how different things were in 2015. That was before language models and chatbots. It was way before ChatGPT. We were doing research and publishing papers and working on AIs that could play video games and control robotic hands and things like that. And we were supposed to get $1 billion, but ended up not. We thought with $1 billion we could make substantial progress towards what we were trying to do. As we learned more and got into the scaling language model world, we realized that it was not going to cost $1 billion or even 10, but like 100 billion plus. And we couldn't do that as a nonprofit. So that was the fundamental reason for it.
Okay. So like it's maybe another way to say it is like it's absolutely essential for the computational power to create. Okay.
And every other effort pursuing AI has realized this and is set up in some way where they can sort of access capital markets.
You've said a lot of different things about Elon in recent days. You gave this interview at DealBook where Andrew Ross Sorkin is sort of asking you how you feel about the conflict. And you say, sad. And you also say that you think Elon's companies are awesome. And then he asked you, do you think he's going to use his newfound political influence to kind of punish you or punish OpenAI or punish his competitors? And you said in that interview that you thought he would do the right thing. How do you square that with what you just told me, which is that Elon's a bully? Bullies don't typically do the right thing.
I think they can totally be. Like, I think there are people who will really be a jerk on Twitter who will still not, like, abuse the system of a country they're now in a sort of extremely influential political role for. That seems completely different to me.
Until now, much of this battle, for those of us who are like perpetually online, perpetually on Twitter, we have been following the conflict via like tweets lobbed, subtweets. It's all sort of been playing out in real time on Twitter for us to watch. OpenAI, though, has sort of been in like response mode sometimes, or mostly kind of ignoring everything. Yeah. That's sort of how I'd characterize it. That changed a few days ago when you guys published this very, very long memo on it's like a blog post on OpenAI's website. People should go and read it. Again, we'll put it in the show notes. And it's sort of like it's like a timeline going back to 2015, proving from your perspective that, via emails and screenshots of texts and explanations of those screenshots and those texts, that Elon wanted OpenAI to, or Elon rather was open to OpenAI being a for-profit going all the way back then. I read all 29 pages. For those who don't want to do that, they could go to ChatGPT and ask Chat to summarize it. Here's how ChatGPT summarized it. This article details the rift between Elon Musk and OpenAI's leadership, particularly Sam Altman, stemming from Musk's dissatisfaction with OpenAI's shift from a nonprofit to a hybrid for-profit model. This feud is crucial Chat told me, because it underscores the broader ethical dilemma of how AI should be developed and controlled, whether it should prioritize public good or corporate profit, especially as powerful AI technologies become increasingly influential in society, in the economy. I thought that was pretty good. What do you think?
No, but on your general point, you are right that we do not sit there and throw tomatoes back and forth on Twitter. The reason for this one was we had to make a legal filing, and we wanted to provide some context. We've published about this once before, also when we had to make a legal filing. I've lost track of how many times that Elon has sued us. I think it's 4, withdraws, changes, goes for this preliminary injunction, whatever. Our job is to build AGI in a way that benefits humanity and figure out how to safely and broadly distribute it. Our job is not to engage in a Twitter fight with Elon, but when we have to respond to a legal filing, we will, and sometimes we'll provide context.
So after seeing both sides, I personally conclude that I stand behind both. From Elon's perspective, this company wasted his investments and is currently on top because of him. And from Sam's perspective, Elon is an annoying roadblock in the way to going for profit. In the end, it's all about results. OpenAI is now controlled by Sam Altman, and xAI is now the company controlled by Elon Musk. Who do you think will win the race? Feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments. And remember, curiosity cured the cat. Stay curious, and until next time.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video. Did you subscribe already? I'm waiting. Thank you for subscribing.